The Messerschmitt BF 109, a plane that played a huge role in the rise and fall of the Luftwaffe during World War II. Up there is one of the most iconic and successful planes in history, along with the Spitfire and the Mustang. The BF 109, along with the Fokker-Wulf 190, acted as the backbone of the Luftwaffe throughout World War II. First seen combat in Spain during the Spanish Civil War, it left service under Germany in 1945 at the fall of the Reich, but stayed in service till 1965 in the Spanish Air Force. The plane was designed by Willy Messerschmitt under the Messerschmitt Company and received its first flight on the 29th of May 1935. It entered service later in 1937. In total, 33,984 planes were produced, making it the most produced plane in history. It was first designed for an interceptor role, but later variants were changed to serve different roles including escorts, fighter-bomber roles, day-night fighter roles, ground attack and reconnaissance roles, making it a very versatile plane which contributed to its success. Within the BF-109's operational history, there were 13 different variations of the plane, as well as 2 different airframes built by different manufacturers, the S-199 by Avia for Czechoslovakia, and the HA-1109 by Hispano for Spain. Within each of the BF-109's variants, each named after a different letter, there would be 2 to 7 sub-variants of that main variant. Mostly, they would contain small fixes for little problems, or compatibility changes so it could serve a different role, such as adding a bomb. These variants gave the BF-109 big changes throughout the year, making it perform better and cheaper to manufacture for wartime economy. A big example of this change is from the BF-109E to the BF-109F. This change brought many different features, including aerodynamic improvements and a Daimler-Benz DB601E engine compared to the Daimler-Benz DB601A variant from the BF-109E7 variant. During the BF-109's extensive service time, it was hugely successful, most notably in the Second World War. It was used very effectively and proved itself as an amazing plane when in the hands of a capable pilot. The 3 greatest aces of all time flew the BF-109, with 928 victories between them. The highest scoring being Erich Hartmann, who achieved 342 aerial victories in World War II, the highest ever scoring ace in history. The plane was also flown by German pilot Hans-Joachim Massey, who scored 158 victories against Western allies in Northern Africa, compared to Hartmann, who scored his against Russians in the East. It was also flown by many other aces from other countries such as Romania, Croatia, Hungary, Bulgaria, and most notably Finland, with Ilmari Juutalainen, the highest scoring non-German ace. Along with its incredible success in combat, it also broke many aviation records for the time. Not long after its debut, it took part in the Flugmeeting Air Show in Zurich, where piloted by Major Seidman, it broke several records and won many categories, including first prize in a 202-kilometer race course. Along with that, on November 11th, the BF-109, flown by Hermann Wörster, powered by the Daimler-Benz DB601R racing engine, set a new world airspeed record for land planes with piston engines of 610.95 kilometers an hour, winning the title for Germany for the first time. Heinkel, having had the HE-112 rejected in the design competition of 1936, designed and built the HE-100. On 6th of June 1938, the HE-100 V3, flown by Ernst Udet, captured the record with a speed of 634.7 kilometers an hour. On 30th of March 1939, test pilot Hans Dieterl surpassed that record, reaching 746.61 kilometers an hour with the HE-100 V8. Messerschmitt, however, soon regained the lead when on April 26, 1939, Flug Captain Fritz Wendel, flying the Me-209 V1, set a new record of 755.14 kilometers an hour. For propaganda purposes, the Me-209 V1 aircraft, possibly from its post-July 1938 first flight date, was given the designation Me-109R, R for racing, with the later prefix never used for wartime BF-109 fighters. The Me-209 V1 was powered by the DB601 ARJ, producing 1,000 550 horsepower, but capable of reaching 2,300 horsepower. This world record for a piston engine was to stand until 1969, when Darrell Greenemeyer's modified Grumman F8F Bearcat broke it with 777 km an hour record speed. The Messerschmitt 109 today remains as a collector's item from the surviving planes from World War II. All German planes, not just BF-109s, are rarer than American and Allied planes that survived. This is due to the amount that was destroyed after the war. During the last years of World War II, Messerschmitt Company developed from the 109 to create the Me-262, the first active jet fighter aircraft in the world, the base for all jet fighter planes to come in the future. Now the BF-109 mostly flies in air shows and sits in museums. There are 67 remaining BF-109 airframes that are known of, sitting in museums or private collections, with only 2 in Australia, one in the Australian War Memorial in Canberra and the other being restored in southern New South Wales, with no airworthy ones in Australia, excluding private collections.
Throughout the BF-109's extensive military career, it saw immense success through combat and generally as a plane. Because of its success, it still remains as a legendary plane, an icon of its time, representing and being the most recognizable symbol of an air force, and will forever remain legendary through its immortalization in movies, books, and popular culture.